So, this is what is banging around in my head this morning. And as I was out on my morning constitutional, this concept of signal versus noise, and how most of us, most of the time, are running around mistaking one for the other. You know, we chase these emotional highs, we chase exciting energy, we chase the outer buzz and really get caught up in the story of what's happening around us. And we think of that, we think mistakenly of that as the signal because we can really feel it. It creates a lot of sensation in the body. But that it means something deeper than what it is the mistake. And usually, most of the time, it is just noise. So I was talking to somebody at this party last night who was really in that moment. There's a lot of emotional activation, a lot of big feelings, uncertainty around a new relationship or the possibility of a new relationship, and really just kind of afraid of their own feelings and uncertain of how to trust themselves kind of moving into this. And this is all compounded by the high of just coming back from this huge breathwork training where things are opened up emotionally and physically and spiritually, and there's just so much story and noise. I mean, it's beautiful noise, it's really fun noise, and it doesn't mean that it's not important or can't lead us back to signal, but really it is just noise. And it's the uncertainty that is pointing back to the signal. It's how do we learn to hear and trust our own inner knowing? How do we use that knowledge to move forward in life with grace and confidence? Um, the real signal that the body is saying, the sensation based awareness, is still buried under like emotional static, and labels and the stories that are attached to those labels. So, I mean, one of my beefs with these types of trainings and retreats, whether it's breath work or yoga training or anything that has to do with creating an ecstatic state, not a bad thing, just that's what it's doing, is oftentimes just a lot of high emotion and catharsis. But in the end, there's just not a lot of guidance. It isn't really about integration. It's not used necessarily to guide you back to this signal place. And the focus is generally just kind of on that ecstatic state and the excitement of that. And it's a really temporary flood of chemistry in the body. It's like a drug. And like any drug, it keeps people coming back for the high instead of the truth. And this is really one of the places many years ago in my own career, in my own development, I saw within my own work that people were coming to me a lot for the James experience. And we were doing beautiful work, and I got to hear a lot of amazing stories and watch people move through some amazing things. And I got to guide people through these huge ecstatic cathartic experiences. And a lot of times, or enough times, I saw that people were not going out of the sessions and really learning from that. They would just keep coming back and keep coming back. And I was like, okay, why aren't people learning? And I had to look at what I was doing as a teacher, as a guide, as a healer. Was I helping people integrate or not? How was I guiding people back to signal or not? And, I didn't really have those words at that time. I just knew something was really off. So how was I just continuing to support people chasing these ecstatic states? You know, it was really a big turning point in my own work and my own personal growth, because um, I had to stop and I had to learn how to bring people back to signal. I had to learn how to bring myself back to signal, back to the truth, back to the basics of sensation based awareness, where you can actually find some modicum of control and discernment and move past the distractions, move past the noise. Now, I'm not against noise. I'm not against hedonism. I am one of the biggest hedonists you'll ever meet. I'm not against having fun. And I'm not even against, like, creating or being involved in chaos and creative chaos and, the Burning Man experience or psychedelic journeys, which can be super powerful. How about the naked pool party or BDSM dungeon and kink. I just love it all. And, I want people to love that and not be cut off from life. But just know what you're doing. We need to know what we're doing. We need to know what we're feeding. We need to know the difference between signal and noise. You know, at this point, because of what I'm developing in my professional life, I have paused. I've paused my sexual life. I've paused my dating life. I've just really begun to trim distractions, even so far as I have almost completely left the massage and bodywork world, which has been just a huge part of my identity for over 2 decades now. What this has done is created space, a space where I'm taking the time to really listen very carefully to what is real for me and what is in me. And I'm taking this time to bring more focus into the thing that my whole being has been signaling me for years, the thing that I've just kind of been holding off a little bit out of fear, building this coaching practice that is all about listening to the sensations, to the signal, to the truth that resides in all of us and guides us into deeper communion with ourselves and the world around us. And, I just continue to be amazed at how quiet this wisdom really is, how subtle it is. But also, once you feel that, and once you get it, you never really want to go back to the full distraction and noise. I mean, sometimes, yes, you want to go to a party, you want to dip your toes in, or you want to jump in for a weekend. But you know the difference. And there's always this wanting to come back to this solid, clear space. And, this is a new body of work that I'm building right now. It's called Courting Potential. And it is all about finding signal under the noise. It's actually called Courting Potential, the Art of Erotic Authority. So you use these principles to tap into your own signals so you can stop outsourcing your authority and start living from your own damn body. That's it. That's the whole game. Strip the noise, find the signal, court the potential that you've been avoiding. This is what I had to learn. And then learn to lead from that place with discernment, with grace. Lead in your own body, in your own sexuality, in your own erotic life, your own decision making and discernment. You need to learn how to lead in your personal relationships, in your family, in your work life, in your community. And this is the place where you actually find the strength and the foundation to really step into the world with purpose. So, this is part of my journey right here. And I'm just wondering, like, what are you noticing in your body right now? and what noise are you ready to stop feeding, and where have you actually already found that signal in your own life? Um, where can you finally learn to trust who you really are?